What's going on, everybody? Today is November 9th. It's Thursday. If you're listening to us live and you are listening and watching the Daily AI Show live, welcome. Today we got some of the crew here. We've got myself, Brian. We've got Beth. We've got Aaron. We've got Andy. And today, we'll see if we get anybody else joining in. But today is kind of a fun one. I think I'm excited about today, which is, okay, hypothetically, if you... maybe you're already doing this, but we'll just say hypothetically, if your boss, if your rich aunt, gave you $100 and said, look, you really seem to be into this AI stuff. Here's $100 per month. So $100 per month stipend.
Go crazy.
What are you going to go grab? What AI tools are you going to grab to maximize that 100? Now, this will be fun because we're all in somewhat different industries. I think we'll have some overlaps. I certainly, as I went through it, I thought, is this applicable to everybody? And the answer is no. I would say when I get to mine, no, I think it definitely has a certain, lean to it that's maybe towards more creation and even a little bit of sales and marketing and these kind of things. Whereas, other companies may not see the same value, but I think it'll be fun nonetheless to kind of, go through this. So yeah, the idea is really simple. You have $100 to spend each month. What are you going to spend that on? And I will just tell you as a little asterisk that I did go in and look at the monthly charges. Almost always there's an annual that is cheaper, but I use the monthly charges for my numbers here just to clear the air and make sure everybody's on the same page with it. So I don't know. How do you guys want to do this? Do you want to go one at a time? Do you want to, how do you want to do this? Do we all agree? I kind of feel like this is the case.
I think we're probably going to have a little similarity here.
Do we all agree on the first $20 a month?
Yes.
Yep.
I am certain.
Okay. Which means that is ChatGPT Plus. So the paid side of ChatGPT. I mean, if you're using any sort of AI, if you're trying to use it in any part of your business and you're not using ChatGPT Plus, I think it's a huge miss. Yeah. And I would say that from the basic user who's just dabbling all the way up to a super user who's creating all sorts of stuff, especially with what they released this week and said is coming and what you can kind of see is the future of it. That tool is just getting more and more powerful. And honestly, I won't say
cancel your Netflix subscription and buy GPT Plus.
I mean, it's powerful. And so maybe let's do this. Let's go around the room really quick and tell me why for $20 you think ChatGPT Plus, if that's on all of our lists already, why is that on there? What are the top reasons for you guys?
It's the almost the do-all tool, and in the last 2 days, now that we've got the new stuff in there, and much to my surprise, I've gotten some of the stuff before the rest of you American guys, which usually I'm the last to get it in Australia, but I now have everything, including GPTs or GPTs. It is just about do-all. I'm really impressed. I created a video today with just before we came on here with GPTs. And it did just about everything I wanted automatically, whereas I was trying to do it with Assistant in the playground yesterday, and it didn't. So I'm real impressed. But yeah, it can do so much. That's the biggie for me.
Yeah. In the last, so late last night, I had an idea that I've had before for a functionality that I wished were in Zoom. And so I went onto GitHub, which we've talked about, but still scares me. I don't do GitHub really. But I found something about Zoom breakout rooms, and I could download it as a zip file. I uploaded it to ChatGPT and said, what can you tell me about this? Then, okay, let's work with it. What do I need to work with it? Can you walk me through step by step? I needed to install node.js on my thing. There were 2 options. Took a screenshot, uploaded it to ChatGPT. What am I picking here? Right? Literally, it held my hand through this process. I got an error message, took a screenshot, uploaded it. What's the new code that I need to add in? I mean, it is amazing. It also wrote me a bio for a workshop, right? Like there's so much that it can do.
Yeah.
So I have a question. ChatGPT 4 Turbo, was one of the announcements that was also now standard to any free ChatGPT user, or do you have to have Plus to get access to GPT-4?
Good question.
I
can't
believe
Don't
that's
know.
the case.
You know, we're all subscribers, so we don't know what's actually the limit of the free version. But historically, it's been GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is very good, but it's not even
Google
comparable
one.
to the reasoning capabilities and the facilities that GPT-4 offers.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. Like you can get far on the free side of ChatGPT, and if that's all you can do that, right? I mean, but just in the not only the now increased ingest length, meaning how much more you can put into the model. In this case, now it's moving up to 300 pages worth or 100,000 words ish of what you can put into it and ask questions against. That's pretty impressive. But to me, it's like they're now sort of blended together, but the other tools, the advanced data analysis, like Beth was just talking about, the being able to throw a PDF in there, having it be able to you could literally come up with some results out of some analysis that you were doing, and then say, create me a couple of images, pulling from DALL-E 3 that would be helpful to my my end audience, where if I'm trying to explain this, maybe I've got a boss and I'm like, look, I've done a lot but I need a couple key things to put in an executive brief. Boom, I can set that up really quick. I can frankly ask it to take all of it and dispel it into an executive brief that only has a couple of the key points to it and KPIs. So I think obviously we all agree, but I think it's an easy win for the cost that it is.
Yeah, I want to add that before this week, if you were using ChatGPT 4 in the Plus subscription for $20 a month, you probably are applying it in your business or in some workflow that you're doing, or you're actually doing some practices that you really want to retain. And capturing the prompts that you used and refining those prompts meant that you had to, do something, at least save it to a Google Sheet, or in my case, I also subscribe to a database sort of note-taking system that's called Notion. And so I would put that into a prompt library in Notion. Well, now, as of this week, you can save that in a GPTs, as Aaron was saying. So you can create a separate little version of GPT that you put into the sidebar that has captured the prompt that's working in your way. And now you can invoke that particular GPT to repetitively create the outputs that you want to, and you can modify them on the fly. So it's all self-contained in this $20 a month system.
Yeah. And
So
the other piece for that I didn't even mention was, at any time, if you have the iOS app, I don't know about Android because I have the iOS app, at any time in your conversation, you can decide that you want to make it a voice conversation because it's easier for you to just talk stuff out. Switch, go to your phone, your iPad, upload that, hit the headphones thing, and now you're continuing that thing that you just interacted. You uploaded the file, you did whatever, and now you're having an actual voice conversation.
And what you're saying in that voice conversation and what GPT is saying back is captured in the desktop version.
Right.
So
It's exactly like
it's all recorded, so it's there for you.
One of my favorite things is to get up from my desk here and start walking around my house. Like if you just go out this way, it's just my living room and kitchen in all one big area. And there's an island in the kitchen, and I'll do laps around the kitchen talking into it, get all that stuff out of my head, and then come right back to my desktop, and it's all right there for me with all the stuff I learned, which I love. I love that I can unhook, I can untether from this damn desk, and I can go walk around and just let my head kind of explore. One of these days I will have to do this while standing in the shower, because as you all know, the best ideas come in the shower. So I will have to have some sort of ChatGPT safety section where cameras can't come on, and just talk to ChatGPT as it asked me if there's water running in the background. Like, no. Okay, listen, we're already at a third of the way in. We've already covered one tool, but I figured it was the biggest one, so it kind of made sense. All right, let's go around the horn. Let's start with you, Aaron. I know you want to share something as well, but also go ahead and go through your $100 list. What do you got on it?
Sure. So let me just very briefly show you this first. So when it comes up on the screen, so this is Descript, which is on my list, and I'll talk about it in a sec, but it's a video editor. So I use GPTs to create a script. I just picked a topic at random. I don't know much about healthy foods, and it wrote me a script. And it also produced all the images for the slides. And I'm amazed.
And that's
like
ChatGPT, right? So you're not in Descript.
Yeah,
This is ChatGPT.
Yeah. So that was like DALL-E's now built in, and it was so like that. I reckon once I've refined it, I reckon I might be able to do one of these in 5 or 10 minutes. It took me probably 30 to 40 minutes to do this, just sort of mucking around with it. But it's the first time I've ever used it. So very impressed with that. So that's the first thing, I guess. I'll stop sharing now. So my probably top of my list nowadays, aside from ChatGPT, is Descript, which is my video editing tool. And for those of you who haven't used it, so you can start at I think it's $15 a month US. Oh, I should add $1 in Australia is worth a lot less in the US. So our currency is way devalued on you. So the $100 US is probably about $150 or $160 Australian. But anyway, so Descript starts at $15 a month. I've got the next level up, which is the Pro plan, which is $30 a month. And that the reason I've chosen that is because that allows me to do AI voice cloning. And some of you have probably seen a few of the videos I've done. It's not perfect, but it's for me, because of my Australian accent, it's still the best product out there for voice cloning. So love that. It's a great video editor as well. So really cool. So if you don't want to freak out about anything complicated with editing video, go and try Descript. The next one on my list is one that a lot of you probably have never heard of. It's my little, I won't say it's my little secret, but I love using it. And it is an AI content writer. And it's a product called ZimmWriter, ZIMM Writer, made by a gentleman by the name of Matt Zimmerman. And it's awesome. It's like $10 a month US, $9.97. And you just plug your OpenAI account into it. And when you write articles, it could do one article or it can do 1,000. You can sequence them up, give it instructions, and it just goes off and writes them. And it's bloody good. Love it. And then last but not least is my favorite AI clone video tool, which is HeyGen, heygen.com.au. And that's where I use it to clone myself and my clients, and I can write scripts and have the person standing there, and it looks like they're really there. So if you've seen some of my more recent ones, you can see that the realism factor is very high. So it actually probably takes me over $100 in truth be told, but they're my top 4 basically. So,
all right, so I'm going to put this on the screen for those who can see it. Let me see if I have that right. I don't know if I did ZimmWriter correct, but your list would be ChatGPT right. Pro, ZimmWriter, Descript, and HeyGen.
Correct.
And we know that ChatGPT Pro is about 20. We know Descript.
So Descript is 30.
In US, it's actually 24. What you're paying?
Okay.
Yeah. So GPT is 20. Descript is 30, although you can start at 15. HeyGen, you can start at $29 a month, and then ZimmWriter it's actually $9.97, but $10 a month. So I think it's actually
so coming up right around that range. Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's awesome. Awesome. All right. Who wants to?
Sorry. One thing. I currently am not subscribed to Midjourney. I wasn't using it much recently, so I've paused my subscription. I will go back to it, but I'm having fun using DALL-E, but I will definitely go back to it at some stage. So that would have been on my list.
Yep.
I love it. Okay, I guess let's keep going so that we get through all the lists, and then let's circle back and talk about some of the tools that weren't overlaps or whatever. So I don't know, Beth or Andy, who wants to go next on this?
I can go next. Okay. And I will start by saying the categories that I sort of hit for myself. Like ChatGPT obviously was an LLM. I figured I also wanted an automation tool, so I went with Make, and Make is $10 a month. I wanted an image maker, and I am still paying for Midjourney, which is $30, which is a big chunk, but useful. I have the Photoshop photography plan, which is $20 a month, and that when you said that Descript, if I upgrade on Descript, I can clone voices. I'm like, I am actually not a subscriber at Descript right now because I'm not doing very much video, but I did put it in my thing. And the last was OpenAI API costs. And so basically, in the tools that I'm using that are not part of this, if I gave myself a limit of $100 budget, I would build some custom tools for myself and use the OpenAI API and Make to create that functionality for myself.
You know what? I thought about the API costs of mine and forgot about it, so I didn't add it in, but
Yeah.
I meant to. But yeah, you're going to have some API costs if you are building some of these areas. Okay, so did I have that right, Beth? We have ChatGPT, Make, Midjourney, Photoshop photography, Descript, and OpenAI API costs.
Right. So that's the large language model, the automation, the image creation, the image editing, and video creation and editing, and then API for cleanup, everything else.
Love it. Okay, Andy, you're up next.
All right. So OpenAI, of course, and OpenAI API costs, because you'll see on the list down below here, I also use the APIs in another tool that I use. But for me, being involved with AI is a lot about learning. And so I have some attendant tools that I'm using every day to try to capture and organize my thoughts and my understandings of all the various facets of AI. And one of them is Notion. Now, Notion, interestingly, has AI built into it. I think it's Cohere or whatever. So you can use an AI internally in Notion, but I don't subscribe to that level of Notion. Nonetheless, Notion is $15 a month, even without the AI component. You'd have to add on $20, but I prefer ChatGPT for the AI implementation. I don't actually have a subscription to either of these, but I would include into my budget for personal use Make, which is an automation tool that gives you a kind of a graphical interface for setting up interactions between LLMs and other outboard systems, whether it's email or WhatsApp or whatever. Because I'm learning and I'm kind of a visual learner, I like to see graphic presentations. I have a subscription for $7 a month to a product called Excalidraw, which is like a mind mapping tool for me, but it's also used to draw information flow diagrams and architectural diagrams by engineers. Engineers really like Excalidraw for its simplicity. And if you just play with it in the free version, try it out. It's a really simple way to capture things that way. Another small expense is for Medium Learning, again, $5 a month. Medium has an incredible array. You can focus what you're learning on, about. I'm focused on AI, but it covers the gamut. So I would definitely pay the mere $5 a month for a subscription to Medium. A lot of really, really advanced articles are available there, but also people who capture and summarize things really, really well. Then on the learning front as well, and you have to pay an upfront cost to do that, but we all met through the AI Exchange. And the AI Exchange originally was $20 a month, and so I happily paid that. But then I took a tremendous course that was taught by Brian and Beth partly, but also videos and quizzes and a really nice learning management system called Thinkific built into that subscription, and the payment for that prompt library and course. All of that, you can now pay for this course that'll teach you all about AI and tremendous resources. You pay for the course that you take, and then you have a lifetime subscription to an incredible array of resources at the AI Exchange. All right, then finally, because I'm working on developing a production level app, I'm nowhere, I'm like at 10% of the progression towards it, but I'm using a very expensive subscription to a tremendous product called Vellum. And Vellum is what generates my API costs in OpenAI, because I'm constantly checking and evaluating prompts that would be a part of this production operation against multiple models and with multiple prompt variations and variables. That's a tool if you're really doing app development and wanted to develop apps within your company that are really production grade. Vellum is hundreds of dollars a month. But so it's not a part of this $100 a month thing.
Sure.
But I just wanted to mention it because if you want to go to the next level, you can find tools out there like Vellum that are really, really great. And but skipping Vellum, that the other things that I mentioned altogether run up to about $90.
And I don't know if I spelled all these right. Excalidraw. Do you know if I spelled that right?
You got it.
And
Yeah,
what about
Vellum
Vellum?
is
Two L's?
2L.
Two L's. I
Two
thought
L's
maybe I
in
had two
Vellum.
L's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vellum
and
dot
Vellum,
AI.
just for the important tool for what you're doing, Andy, but just to be clear, not part that wouldn't fit
Not
in the
part of the
$100.
$100 a month. Yeah.
It's definitely a much
Right.
more advanced tool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's pause really quick.
And if you're looking for AI Exchange, you have to go to the AI Exchange. AI Exchange by itself is something else. But
Oh yeah.
Question
Okay. Thanks.
from
And so I'm going to hold off on because we do have a comment from Greg. We'll get that to a second. Let me hit my list, and then Greg's got some things on there as well. So
nice.
because I'm going last, I don't have any really good ahas here. You guys pretty much nailed them all for me, but I'll go through them anyway and why I picked them. I do have one that didn't come up onto any of your lists, and I'll hit that one I guess last. So GPT Pro, I think we nailed that one. Don't have to hit that. Descript. As much as I don't necessarily use it, it is an amazing tool. I would definitely put it in there for doing fast editings, take out ums and ahs, and just doing really, really quick editing of videos, as Aaron was showing. I showed it at $15 a month. I think that's sort of a no-brainer. I also had Make on mine. Not everybody is ready necessarily to do their next automation per se, but it is a great learning tool to go in there, and it's much, much cheaper. I think one of the reasons probably all of us don't have Zapier on there is just the cost. It would be harder to fit a Zapier subscription into $100 a month. So went with Make, but that's really the only reason is the cost of it. So having Make in there, being able to do some really simple ones. We just had a whole jam session last night talking about this in the AI Exchange. And, you know, what we were talking about is in automation, it can be a fairly simple thing. I want to take this thing from Airtable. I want to evaluate it in some way as a yes, no type thing. And I want to put that answer of yes, no evaluation back in Airtable, right? That could be an easy automation. It starts in Airtable. It goes through like a Make type connector to a ChatGPT prompt. It runs that prompt through the API, spits the answer back out into the Airtable. And then every time you make a new entry into the ledger, it will automatically run that for you. Super simple. Does not have to be overly.
What's the cost of Airtable monthly?
I didn't have Airtable in mind. I was just saying as an example. I'm not sure what Airtable actually costs.
And there's a free level.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is all
like saying, because you could do it with GPT Sheets also, and it's like saying GPT Sheets is also free. Like, Google Sheets. What?
I know.
I have to put $5 in a jar every time I do that now. Like, what is happening?
So I still have the basic level of Midjourney in mind. I love DALL-E 3, but it will not produce the same level. And here's the thing. I don't think everybody needs a Midjourney. Not everybody wants to go to Discord. So I'm going to throw that out there as like, if you like having a lot of control over the types of things you do in images, if you need to have high quality images, I still think there's no comparison to Midjourney for what it'll do. But if you just need to make images, I would say DALL-E 3 inside of ChatGPT is already baked into that cost, probably will get you 90% of the way there. So it depends on who you are.
So Brian, the other thing I would say about Midjourney is there's a learning curve to get good at it compared to getting started with DALL-E. So you've got to keep that in account, and the fact that it runs out of what is it? Can't even think of the name of the damn thing. Discord. Discord.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not as easy to get the good stuff out of it, but it's still a great product. Anyway, sorry. back to
Right.
you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be a toss up for the end user, right? Like what do they need? What do they need at the end of it? Is it worth that pain of maybe going through a Discord server to do that? I definitely have HeyGen in there because like at $24 a month for their basic now, $24 will get you 15 minutes a month, which may not sound like a lot, but truthfully, if you were really focusing on doing like 30-second videos and doing that, let's say in sales, which I focus on, you could create 30 really good HeyGen videos at 30 seconds if you were watching what you're doing and really maximize that cost. HeyGen is not cheap, but it does, as Aaron has shown, it produces a really, really good result. And I think if you're watching what you're doing and not trying to create really long videos, it actually, and frankly, I think the shorter videos work better. The longer ones get easier to see the AI parts of it. So I think it's a little bit more costly, but if you were in an industry where it's important to you to be able to send off one-off videos to people and stuff like that, I think that could be a really big tool. So that's ChatGPT Pro, Midjourney, Descript, Make, HeyGen, and the other one you guys didn't say that I would personally pay for is Canva. So Canva with their new AI tools is getting better and better.
I've practically never used the AI stuff in it yet.
Well, I just recently, it's been my 1-2 punch with ChatGPT and DALL-E 3. So DALL-E 3 does a pretty good job of putting text in the right places. So I've been using it a ton I use it for the Daily AI Show, but I've been using it a lot for my LinkedIn posts. And what I love about it is like the text on there does not have to be perfect. I can just immediately take that over. I can magic erase. I can actually say magic select text, and it will select the text as it is in the DALL-E 3 image. And I can delete a letter and add a letter. So I can fix really quick.
You didn't show me how to do that because I had to do it manually today in Canva.
No. It's just the magic text. Like you literally click on it and it finds the text in the picture, and then you can manipulate it. So there's that part of it. So anyway, it's much cheaper than, like, I love Adobe products. I used to build in Premiere and in Photoshop all the time, but they do get costly. And I just think, honestly, Canva is kind of crushing it as far as what you can do there. Because not only do the AI stuff, you can create quick presentations, which obviously Aaron is showing you can do now partially in ChatGPT Pro as part of the new rollout. So when I added all that up, all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things, it came out to about $103.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty close. And then again, that was on that monthly plan versus if you decided, yeah, I'm going to use these. These are like, I think things like ChatGPT, Canva, Make, Descript. I'm going to say those 4, I would feel comfortable right now paying on an annual subscription because I feel that they are not going anywhere. If anything, they're just going to add more value over time. HeyGen, I'd be a little concerned with only because it's new and it's evolving. And what was the other one I didn't put in there? Midjourney. Same thing. In a year's time, if I paid outright for a year, there's a possibility that Midjourney, like a free tool like Adobe Firefly or these other ones, could get so close to it that it would no longer make sense for me to continue to pay for the Midjourney. So I would not pay an annual on a Midjourney or a HeyGen just because I'd be too concerned about like what next June looks like and whether I just spent money that I need to. Ones that didn't make the list were Repurpose.io, which I actually do use all the time for my stuff. But the way I tried to look at it is I don't know that everybody is trying to recreate content and repurpose content like that. So I didn't know how valuable that tool would be. So those are mine. Canva, and then was the big one for me. And then I just want to bring on Greg's comment here. No one mentioned Otter, Noda. I don't know, and I don't know MeetGeek. Do you guys know those ones?
No, but I wonder if they're all note takers. We also didn't mention Zoom or Zoom AI's functions right now, which let you summarize that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Noda is as a transcriber. So is Otter, and MeetGeek. I'm going to look up right now. Geek.
I mean, there's just so many things have AI in them nowadays. It's kind of difficult to choose something that doesn't have it. So,
yes, full disclosure, my AI budget is not $100.
Way to go, Beth. One rule for today: $100. Andy blew
no. My AI budget that I gave today is $100. Came in right.
Your real budget is not it. Yeah.
My open AI costs were $8 because that's what I had left.
Greg also says Descript is an amazing tool, especially with the new podcast features. But go look at Capwing. I use Capwing, Greg. Great call out on that. I do use Capwing for very, very quick subtitles. In fact, I use Capwing and I pass along costs to clients because it's something I can do for them very, very quickly. It's a very easy program to use. And so I just find the efficiency of it alone is worth it. So I do actually use Capwing,
Nice.
but would be okay with
I'm
maybe
using
the script
Otter.
taking rid of it.
Greg, I
do?
use Otter, but on the free version. I haven't. I mean, I find the post call summaries useful sometimes, but I haven't established any workflow using those transcripts. So I haven't upgraded to Pro.
Yeah, I actually use Dropbox for my transcripts right now, and it's doing a great job. So, you know, like you said, it's built in now into other tools, and I think, I mean, you should. Well, can you? You can't. Can you send in audio to the new version of ChatGPT? Is there any option for that yet? If not, it will be. Can you put an
Interesting.
MP3 and have it transcribed inside ChatGPT?
I believe so because Whisper is a part of the whole system. I think it's, isn't it?
But will it take that file
Wait,
type?
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
test.
I'm not
We'll
sure.
test that today.
And the Whisper API, the new, so Whisper now is Whisper 2 maybe, and it's coming out as Whisper 3. That is not available on the API side yet.
Yeah.
So-
but and I find that's going to be what they were saying is like that's going to be great for other, I guess, languages stuff, because Whisper right now is already pretty good if you speak English and don't have an accent, or you know, have an American accent. It does pretty good with that. I shouldn't say don't have an accent, have an American accent. That's not fair.
Well, I got to say, I started using Descript 2 or 3 years ago when it first came out, and the transcription part of it was terrible because of my accent, but it's definitely a lot better now. So they're definitely improving the quality of it. Give it another 6 months and I reckon it'll be close to perfect. So,
Also,
whereas if I take videos of American people speaking and upload it, it almost always gets it almost spot on.
so when we're talking about American, we're talking about a particular kind of accent, because our very brilliant friend Tyler talks about Claude, and it gets spelled like you had claws and it was ripped down your body. You were Claude. And that is an American accent.
Yeah, there's some strong differences between U.S. accents depending on where you are. I'm a bit of a mutt. I mean, I live in Florida now, and everybody is from somewhere else in Florida. So, like, I don't think I'm picking up anything from here at this point. And I was a New York transplant into Georgia, so you can imagine what that sounded like. Because I would say, you know, mitt, and they would say a glove, you know, and those kind of things. You know, put your books up. Me and my brother never knew what to do. We're like, do we hold them up here? I don't understand what I'm supposed to do when you say up. And they're like, away. It means away. So, all right, listen, let's do a quick TLDR. Let's just do a rapid fire as we wrap up here. Starting, we'll go in the same order. Aaron, Beth, Andy, me, I think it was. Just say your tools again, if you would, Aaron.
Sure. So ChatGPT Pro, Descript, HeyGen, and ZimWriter.
Okay.
Yep.
Beth?
ChatGPT Pro Plus, Make, Midjourney, Photoshop, the photography plan, which is cheap. It's $20 a month. Descript, and then the rest of the costs, the OpenAI API.
Okay.
ChatGPT Plus, Notion, Excalidraw, Make, join the AI Exchange by taking a course there. It's worth it. And Medium.
Okay. And then mine were very similar. ChatGPT Pro, Midjourney, Descript, Make, HeyGen, and Canva was my one asterisk that was out there. So yeah, I think hopefully that's super helpful to people. If you're trying to decide like, God, there's so many AI tools out there. There's 5 more every week. Yep, we get it. We play with them too. But I think the ones that we all mentioned are really, really good, stable choices right now that I feel confident that at least on a monthly plan, you will do just fine with, and it will take you very, very far. So, let's see. I needed this laugh right now. Informative show. Appreciate this topic too. Thanks. Thank you, Jen. I'm glad it was helpful. That's the idea. We want this to be helpful to everybody. I want everybody to walk away and go, hey, look, I got a good, solid 10, 12 good suggestions that maybe I can go play, and maybe you weren't thinking about some of these. So we'll wrap it up. This was fun. I knew this was going to be fun today. This is a cool topic. Maybe we'll have to do something similar to this again about, you have so much money. What are you going to do with it type of thing? Tomorrow we're back talking about AI browsers. So there's a lot of like browser anxiety going on right now. Not only do you have the new stuff coming in, like we knew the stuff that was with Edge and Bing Chat, then you have Google and all the stuff Google is injecting into theirs. But then you also have tools like Perplexity and other ones that are out there. So that'll be our topic for tomorrow on Friday. It'll be Aloha Friday, and hopefully you guys can come back and join us. This was fun, guys. All right, let's wrap it up.
See you later.
Happy Thursday.
Bye-bye, world.